Snap Fitness in Grand Island offers 24-hour access, free weights, strength training machines, cardio equipment, nutrition plans, and personal trainers. They'll work with you to help you reach the goals you have in mind. Located at 217 East Dolly Park Road in GI.
Welcome to End Zone Online. I'm George Ayoub with my buddy, the 1,000-yard guy, Bobby Mills. Behind the camera, Elisa Reitz, our producer-director. We are going to talk some high school football here on End Zone Online, brought to you by our friends down at Snap Fitness. So we're going to talk about some games here. This is the first week of games.
Game week, yeah. How about that?
This is known as 0 week. Right?
0 week.
0 week, which I don't know. Well, I'm not a math guy, but I don't get that. Anyway, we're going to start Thursday. A couple big games on Thursday, and then we're going to go through the weekend. So let's talk, first of all, Bobby, about the area schools. The Islanders at senior high are going to start with Kearney. Rivalry game.
Yeah, what a way to start for either one of them.
Exactly. Huh? And, of course, the Islanders, we talked about last week, they lost some good skill kids, and Chase Reese, their big tackler.
Yeah.
So they've lost some good kids, but they have Pierce Allman back, and Kearney, has Brian Arp in the line. He's signed at Ohio, the Frank Solich pipeline.
Yeah.
And so, how do you see this game? The Islanders got them pretty good last year. I believe it was 26-0.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Exactly. I think it's going to be a tight game all the way. I don't know whether Grand Island will have a new wrinkle in the offense with green receivers, or whether they're going to stick to the same thing or what. But Kearney's has a dual quarterback system, I think, so that could prove to be either good or bad. But they've gone through the whole year last year doing it, so
right.
I think it's going to be a tight game.
They're used to it. I'm always curious about the chemistry when you have a dual quarterback system. But,
Me too.
I think the Kearney game, it was 26-0, but the Islanders I think were physically better at a lot of different positions, and I think part of that was because of the age of the Kearney.
That's right.
Kearney team.
So it should equal out.
Yeah,
this year.
It should equal out. It'll be interesting to see too, Grand Island, whether they change the balance they've had with the run and the pass.
True enough.
Now that Pierce Allman does not have the senior receivers that he had to throw to last year, and those good senior backs. If the balance will go a little bit maybe more towards the run or to the pass, I would think maybe more towards the run.
I would too. They've got maybe later in the year they'll get back to what they had last year, but it's going to be a funny thing. And of course the backs are new also. So
right.
What do you do? It's going to be a tight football game.
Kevin Cahoy, Jeff Tomlin sent along his starters, and Kevin Cahoy is listed as a fullback.
Oh,
of course,
my goodness.
But they can set him in a slot.
Yeah,
they can do a lot of things with it. He's a terrific athlete, and he'll be great on the defensive side of the ball. I think the Islanders are going to be pretty good on the defense.
I think they will be.
Their backers and their defensive backs, I think they're going to really shine back there. So it should be a good football game, and that game's going to be live streamed on theindependent.com. We'll be on the air about 6:45.
What a way to start the season.
Yeah, your son Rob's going to do the color for us.
Good.
And we'll do the play-by-play, and we're looking forward to getting the live stream season off with the Islanders and the Bearcats, 6:45 on Friday night. Our friends at Northwest High School head to Adams Central.
Just up to Class B.
Just up to Class B, and always good.
Yep, new coach, which doesn't seem possible.
No.
Bill Carlin's been there since we were kids, seems like, but
well, that wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that, yeah, but they had.
What are you trying to say?
Yeah, well, there were 35 years.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
This coach was an assistant up for years, so I don't think much will change. Although he'll want to take control with his ideas,
yeah. But I think the system will probably stay.
It will
pretty
be
much the same.
I don't think you want to go through any radical changes.
No. So they're going to want to pound the ball.
Yeah, they will. They will indeed. The Maryland Eye sometimes, and Northwest is. They just have to be able to stop that constant running game.
Coach Stein out at Northwest, has lived and died by the pass.
Yes, he
and
has.
The wide open offense. That a lot of teams have adopted in high school.
Yep.
And they've got some kids that can sling the ball out there.
Well, I think Northwest will score points. It's just whether the defense can stop the other team. So, if you like a lot of points scored, that'll probably be a good team to watch this year. With Christian Ellsworth back there firing.
Yeah, and Christian has a year under his belt.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that it's amazing to see. Not only do sophomores to juniors have a year under the belt, they're bigger. You
Yeah,
know,
oh,
and they're more mature physically, and so I think it'll be a. I really look forward to watching him play.
Well, George, I didn't see him play last year, but did he run the ball when you watched?
Not very much.
But you know he can, I think, because
Yeah.
he's a big boy.
Yeah, he didn't run by design hardly at all.
Yeah.
Maybe a few times. Most of it was, he's scrambling. But
But-
he's a big kid. He's
Yeah.
very athletic. So
I think he can if he has to. I don't think they want him to, but down by the goal line, he did pound some people for touchdowns.
So that will be the Vikings at Adams Central Friday night.
Yep.
That'll be a good one. The Crusaders are going to head to Broken Bow for their opening game this weekend. And, we talked a little bit about Central Catholic. They have Johanna Gaifan, who now has signed with Wyoming.
Right.
And he's going to anchor them in the line, but he also does a great job at tight end with good hands, good feet. You think they're going to try to get him involved a lot?
Oh, they will, yeah. I just keep forgetting about him being a pass receiver on offense, and he had some yards last year.
I think some teams forgot about him.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do that this year, though.
No,
Broken Bow's always tough up there, George. Doggone it.
I was going to say that's going to be to travel up to Broken Bow and get a win.
It's
Crusaders are going to have to be ready to go.
They protect their turf like mad up there.
New quarterback in the system, Brady Brokaw. Has played a lot at defensive back, and now they got him on the offensive side. So we'll see how things go there.
I think they have to use him some on defense, George, don't you?
I would think so.
He knows where people are going to go on these pass routes. I guess like Howard Truman said yesterday, what you don't want him to do is have to come up and make a head-on-head tackle as a linebacker would. So we'll see. They want to keep him healthy.
You don't see a lot of QBs on defense, but you never know.
I know.
So.
Yep.
All right, that's the local teams. Islanders versus Bearcats. That's here in Grand Island, 6:45. That'll be on theindependent.com. The Vikings head to Adams Central, and the Grand Island Central Catholic Crusaders will be in Broken Bow for a 7 o'clock game up there in Broken Bow. After the break and a word from Snap Fitness, we're going to talk a lot about some of the bigger games, and Bobby's going to tell us where he's going to be roaming the sidelines.
What's the most centrally located gym in Grand Island? Try Snap Fitness, a 24/7 gym that's loaded with state-of-the-art equipment from Cybex for both strength and cardio. Located at 217 East Island Road in Grand Island.
We are back with End Zone Online. George Ayoub and Bobby Mills here. Let's talk about some big games throughout the state. We're going to start on Thursday with a game that I think you're going to go up and see, and that's Omaha Central and North Star?
Yep, North Star. I want to see how Central looks. I think they should be rated a little higher than, 7th here? Or
7th, or 6th.
6th, yep.
Yeah.
And, of course, that's not the only big game there. And Millard South and Millard North bang heads the opener again, and who knows what's going to happen there. But those are two big games to open the season.
Right, that's those are both on Thursday night. Where are you going to head Friday?
I'm going to watch Hartington Cedar Catholic at David City Aquinas, and that, of course, Aquinas preseason number 1. I think Stu Pospisil for the World Herald picked Hartington Cedar Catholic 5th. They may be higher than that, but when you have St. Cecilia in front of you and Bergen, a little tough to crack that. But that's going to be a premier game.
Right, and that happened a lot in C1 and C2 last year. We saw some really big games early in the season.
Oh boy, hit the ground running!
And you have to be ready to go. And there's some good things, bad things about that. Most of the teams are healthy at that point.
Yes.
Sometimes you get a big game at the end of the season, and you've got some kids banged up, and they're not 100%. So it'll be interesting to see how these teams responded right out of the gate to the big one. Some other big games then on Friday. Millard West at number 1, Millard North.
Yeah.
Or Omaha North.
Omaha North had a real easy schedule to start last season. Not this year.
Not this year.
Right off the bat.
And I think West is really going to test them. I think the advantage for North is they're at home.
Yep.
They should be confident. They have so many returners from that state championship team. But you never know. Millard West always brings a good football team.
Kurt, great coach up there, and they'll give them. They lost some people, but they'll give them some fits. I'll guarantee you.
Other big ones: West Side and Bellevue West, Papio South, and Omaha Burke. Those are all ranked teams. Bellevue West with their high-flying offense.
Yeah, that 2 Grand Island wins over the victims, I should say, a year ago. They're ranked, number 2 and 3?
And West Side's 5. So right out of the gate, again, you have to be ready to play. And Burke's 9, Papio South is 8. So it's really going to be an interesting Friday night, I think, in the Metro.
Should. Oh, yes. Definitely.
I have you see, you've marked Crete and Aurora. That'll be a big match.
Boy.
Number 5 Crete, number 7 Aurora.
Crete seems to always have Aurora's number. They'll try to change that this year, but of course, Chuck, the coach up there's son is the starting quarterback. I think that's his last son, McGinnis. So a starting quarterback at Crete is not good news for anybody because they usually start when they're sophomores, and he's a senior. So
Aurora, that game is at Aurora.
Yep.
I think they'll give them a little bit of advantage, and of course, Aurora really supports their football team, and they've had such a great run in the last few years that that should be a good one. You've marked SCOTUS and Boone Central, Newman Grove. SCOTUS comes in at number 8, and our friends up at in the Albion area are number 1.
Yes, they are.
Very deservedly so.
And they're tough at home.
And they're tough at home with the great new field.
Yep.
And, that'll be a good ball game, I think, though.
Yeah, SCOTUS has a lot of kids returning. I went to that game once and rode up, when I was a Bonnie years ago, called St. Bonaventure, who turned into SCOTUS. And I didn't realize they had so many kids coming back, but they've got a ton of them coming back. So they'll give Boone some.
They'll give Boone a good game because of the experience I think they can put on the field.
Yeah.
So in the small schools, Bobby, we should have mentioned Heartland Lutheran, of course, does not have a game in Zero Weekend. Actually, we are going to be broadcasting from Heartland Lutheran.
So that's their opener, right?
So their opener against SEM, that'll be on September 5th, and we'll be out there. What about some of the small schools? What do you see as big games there?
Well, don't forget about North Platte St. Pat's and Donovan Trumbull. The last 3 seasons they've played in the playoffs. And somebody said, well, I said that's a good rivalry game. Well, how can that be? They're too far apart. But when you play the last 3 seasons in the playoffs and somebody's season is going to
Somebody's season ended that way.
And they both marked each other down to play this year when the NSAA formulated the schedule. So that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, and again, 2 great teams right out of the chute. That'll be a good ball game. Bergen has Oakland Craig.
Lord.
Both ranked teams.
I wish I could be 2 places at once at some of these times. Mm-hmm. So there's the 8-man schedule doesn't seem to really get started in earnest until next week. They're still on that 8-game schedule, and I hope they change.
Right. So, and we want to mention Syracuse and Wahoo Newman.
Oh my goodness, Syracuse is better than you think, and they beat Newman last year 14-0. So that's so many key games. Yeah. Wow, and it doesn't mean your season's lost if you lose the opener, but kind of nice to get that win, George.
All right. Yeah, and that game's at Wahoo. Okay, we are just about out of time here on End Zone Online, so we'll be back next Monday. We'll have some scores.
Yeah.
We'll talk about some of the stars from the weekend, and we're getting ready to go. And I'm sure that you just can't wait for Thursday to arrive.
I can. I wish I could turn the calendar ahead, but you guys are going to have a tremendous game out there. If you can't make it, boy, tune in for sure.
We're going to looking forward to the Islanders and the Bearcats at 6:45 on theindependent.com. For Bobby Mills, Elisa Reitz, I'm George Ayoub. This has been End Zone Online, brought to you by Snap Fitness.
Visit Snap Fitness in Grand Island for all of your workout needs. State-of-the-art equipment and personal trainers will help you reach the exercise and health goals you have in mind. Located at 217 East Island Road in Grand Island.